What's up, guys? Matty here, mixandmastermysong.com. Today we're going to be checking out this new plugin from Waves called the CLA Epic. It is 4 delays and 4 reverbs combined into one plugin. Very, very cool. Something I've actually wanted from a plugin company for a while. So it might be one of my favorite plugins of 2020. Let's check it out. So here's the plugin, guys. You have four delays here and 4 reverbs here. Let's run through it really quick, and then we'll check out some examples. The first one is a tape delay, and you can sync it, with the track, or just use it as milliseconds. Really up to you on how you use it. The second one is a throw, pretty much the same as the tape, just slightly different, and you can sync it here. What I like about this plugin is you can click here and go to quarter notes. Click here to go to quarter notes. I know a lot of plugins that are delays, you got to turn the knob and it search for the quarter and then it goes to the triple. I like being able to click on things really quick and go to whatever note I want to. Third one is a slap delay. So this is a little different than the first two, where it has VSO, which is the tape speed. So it's kind of based on an old tape slap delay. So you have 7.5 IPS, 15 IPS, and 30 IPS, and you can see how that changes the delay time of the delay. You can also sync it if you want, and then you have your feedback here as well. Fourth one, really cool sound, and we'll go over the sounds in a minute, is called Crowd. It sounds like a room almost, a real tight room, but more of a delay. You can make it wider or tighter, make it sound like more people kind of or less, gives that kind of effect. Both of these have modulation, which is global for the delay and then global for the reverb, but it's cool for giving yourself some more movement if you need it. Next is A, B, C, D. So these are your reverbs. So you have a plate, and before I get into these, one thing I really dig about this plugin is the simplicity. You have just a plate. There's not 10 different plates. There's just one plate. And I know for some people that might not be enough options. I like simple plugins that can get to the sound really quick. This is a great sounding plate. And then you have a great sounding room, hall, and space, which is a different reverb too. But real simple, just have your pre-delay, your reverb time, and your RT low and your RT high. That's all you can change, and I like that. B is pre-delay, reverb time, and same as the plate. Probably these are from a Lexicon 480 kind of sound, except this is a room. Then you have a hall here. And then this last one, which is space, which is cool. It's a little bit different, cool sound, and you have the ability to change the decay time. Okay, so that's basically the run through. Everything has a high pass and low pass, which is huge. One thing I would have liked is if the high pass could have gone a little higher and the low pass could have gone a little lower, but not too much of a complaint there. Let's check this out. Let's start off with just one of the CLA vocal presets. Now, keep in mind, you can use this thing on anything, guitars, synths. I'm just going to be checking it out with vocals today just to not make the video extremely long. So let's check this out. This is the CLA setting.
It's been a couple weeks since we met in the west side. I went to your room, now you're overthinking.
So it sounds great right out the gate. By the way, this is my friend Rhea and her song Overdose, which is already out on Spotify. Just using the song as an example, but make sure to check her out. But so you see, we turned the knob all the way wet because I'm using it as a send and return. You can also just put the track on there. And I think a lot of these presets are made just to put the track on there because a lot of them default at 35. Another thing I would have liked Waves to do is make it so you can lock this, but whatever. So yeah, there's that. Let's listen to another one, and then we can go through the actual each sound.
It's been a couple weeks since we met in the west side. I went to your room, now you're...
Another really cool sounding effect. So a lot of the presets are awesome, really great just to get going and started and mixing. For instance, this one, which is the Vocal 2 from CLA, you have the tape, which is set to... now the sync is off, so it's just set to a millisecond, which gives it more of a kind of a slap sound. Then you also have the slap at, what is it at? 166 milliseconds, okay? And then this crowd sound, right? And then as far as reverbs, you have the plate and the room going on. So the combinations are endless. Let's take a listen to these just soloed one at a time so you guys can hear it. Let's go back to default and hear what it sounds like. So this first one is the tape.
It's been a couple weeks since we met in the West Side. I went to your room.
So because the delay time is exact same, it's kind of right up the middle. Now, if you want to make it a wider delay, it has this offset. And so what the offset does is it turns one down and one up and makes it wide. It makes it so it sounds wider because the further the milliseconds get off, the wider it tends to sound.
It's been a couple weeks since we met in the West Side. I went to your room. Now you're overthinking, trying to figure out what you're supposed to do.
So it sounds pretty cool. Next one is throw. So I would, because it's throw, I would use this as my quarter note or half note, eighth note, whatever delay you want. Usually I'd use that in this instance. So here, let's mute this one and turn this one on.
It's been a couple weeks since we met in the West Side. I went to your room. Now you're
Same thing, it's just a middle delay. If you want more of a stereo delay, you can turn this offset up. Now we switched out of sync mode, but we're still close to a quarter note millisecond, obviously. And let's crank this up.
It's been a couple weeks since we met in the West Side. I went to your room. Now you're overthinking.
And what's cool about the offset the way it is like you're not completely right on time, and that can help create movement a lot of times within a track. While we got this quarter note, let's just mess with this modulation, see what it can do.
It's been a couple weeks since we met in the West Side. I went to your room. Now you're overthinking, trying to figure out what you're supposed to do.
So definitely cool modulation. Obviously less is more with that. Third one is this slap. So let's check this out.
It's been a couple weeks since we met in the West Side. I went to your room. Now you're overthinking, trying to figure out what you're supposed to do.
So slap is a slap. That's what it sounds like. If you don't know, that's what it sounds like. This is the crowd. This is really cool. I dig this one a lot.
It's been a couple weeks.
And we've been doing that without the wet, so that's why I was cranking this and we weren't hearing as much. Now we should hear them a lot clearer. Sorry about that.
It's been a couple weeks since we met in the West Side. I went to your room. Now you're overthinking, trying to figure out what you're supposed to do.
How cool is that effect? I love that one.
It's been a couple weeks since.
Cool. So now let's go to the reverbs. You got a plate?
It's been a couple weeks since we met in the West Side. I went to your room. Now you're overthinking.
You can change things. Here's your room.
It's been a couple weeks since we met.
And then your hall.
It's been a couple weeks since we met in the West Side. I went to your room. Now you're overthinking.
I like how dark that hall is. And then this one's space, which is a cool kind of sound.
It's been a couple weeks since we met in the West Side. I went to your room. Now you're overthinking, trying to figure out what you're supposed to do.
Modulation is strong, so that space is really cool. Totally cool. So one of the reasons I really like this, so now you get an idea of what all the different reverbs and delays can do, and you could spend a lot of time just combining two different ones with that. And check it out, you can even switch your routing here, which is the next part we're going to talk about. So when I mix, a lot of the stuff I do delay throws. I mix my song, I mix my vocal, and then I bounce the lead vocal or whatever I want to delay down to a track and re-import it, or I commit it in Pro Tools. And then I throw little pieces of the song I want, the vocals I want, into different effects, okay? So for right here, let me solo it so you can hear it. I had this going on. So it was a Pro Q with a real tight filter. quarter note delay going into the Pro Arb, which is the reverb from FabFilter. So I had to use 3 plugins to kind of get that sound I wanted, right? But here with the CLA Epic, you can kind of do it all with one. So let's try to recreate that really quick. Let's do, let's mute this one. Let's just do a quarter note delay. Let's crank up the wet for now. Do a quarter note delay. Oops. Let's turn off our reverb. And then let's filter this all the way on both sides. And make it a little bit wider. Perfect. Now, we could just put the Hall on, right? And then try that. Which is cool. But the other thing we might be able to do, and what I dig a lot about this, is you can actually route the delay to the reverb. So if you see here, I switched it to C. It was off before. Now this delay is going to go to the reverb, and the reverb will play what's delayed, right? So check it out now. Now it sounds cool. So now it's a delayed reverb, which is huge that you can be able to do that. Now, if you want just the delayed reverb sound, you can turn this off, the actual going out to the main mix, right? And then we'll just hear the delayed reverb, which is really low. Hopefully you guys heard it on the speakers there. Now, but I'd like to keep this on, and then you can mix your delay and your reverb, which is just game changing. And there's a gain here, so if I want more delay, I can do that. And I can send this to all of them. If I want to send it to space, boom, select D. So the flavors of sound you can do and how quick I can do what I used to have to use 3 plugins for is really pretty game changing in my view. I like being able to use one plugin, do all my throws, and I can make a bunch of settings and be ready to go when I'm mixing, when I have a creative idea and I want to delay something. So that's the plugin. It's really cool. It's something I've been waiting for from a plugin company, and while it's CLA or not, it does what it's supposed to do, and it's really quick to work with, and I dig it a lot. So I'm going to be using this plugin a lot on my mixes. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you need your song mixed and mastered, hit me up at mixandmastermysong.com. You can also get my presets and courses there as well. Talk to you guys soon.